they get so weird with these freaking these seasons and stuff like that. It's so confusing. But I'm not gonna be on screen because y'all, when I tell you, like, I look a mess. I look a mess. I feel a mess. And everything in between, I'm just now getting caught up on, you know, just like everything that uh has been shown, this week and stuff. I'm just now getting caught up on all the shows, what's going on social media. Like, I'm just now getting caught up on like everything. So please bear with me in the meantime because your girl has been going through it for real. Like with this whole move and everything. Uh, it's just been she's been taking a lot out of me. It's been taking a lot out of me, to say the least. Um, so yeah, like I just wanted to come to you guys like this because save a little bit of my energy, you know. But we're gonna get into it. This week's episode, it didn't really give like a whole bunch. It wasn't like a whole bunch going on with it. And I'm starting to think it's because like obviously like the first couple of episodes of the season, we need to like get reintroduced to everybody, kind of like check in with just all the couples before we can really start splitting up the episodes in between like half the group one week, then half the group the next week. I find that to be a lot better because it can get really confusing and whatnot if we're just constantly jumping from this person to this person to this person. Like no one has time for that. So we only got like little snippets of everybody this week. But I mean it wasn't bad, so whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna just get into it. So this week's episode, um, we get. Let's start with. I'm gonna go couple by couple as I always do. And this week we got Taylor and Chance. Let me just say, she honestly, just looking at everybody. Let me put the picture up here. Yeah, just going off of like all of the couples that you see here. Honestly, um, Taylor and Chance, Taylor especially, is pissing me off the fucking most. She is pissing me off the most because she has her kids involved in this situation. And that's like, that's going to be super detrimental to their development if this doesn't work out. Because she's putting her all, like her entire life is getting thrown into this relationship. And with that, she's a package deal. She has 3 kids, under the age of 10. So you want to talk about tainting? Anyway, so they're getting geared up for this like daddy daughter dance down at the school. Her youngest daughter, her father's in her life, so he came and scooped her up, and they're already off getting ready for the dance. But the oldest two, their dad passed away. Um, their dad passed away, so who but Chance is the knight in shining armor. Um, he is coming to step in and kind of trying to be there for the girls and take them to the dance. And I mean, like, that's fine and all, but I just don't believe him. I don't believe him. I don't believe his story. I don't believe his MO. I don't believe anything that he's got going on. And it's going to be at the expense of these little girls. And that is my main issue. And my second issue with them is how she's treating her own fucking sister. When I tell you Bobby looked like the most displaced little puppy dog this episode. So as we said before, I mean, if you've seen the previous episodes, you know that Chance has been hell bent on putting Bobby out in this garage. And this, I don't even call it a garage or room, or whatever. I call it a room. That means garage room. Garoom is what he's trying to put her in. And he's trying to do this, honestly, I feel like to feed his own agenda. I'm not trying to, make accusations or anything, false accusations, I should say, but this is what it's giving. So it's my channel, I'm gonna speak on it. He gives off the vibe that like I have some ulterior motives here. Why are you trying to isolate, this little girl? Before you were in the situation, these girls were just living just fine. They were not complaining about living in the same room or anything like that. So why must you, sir, take it upon yourself? Like, why do you think that's cool to take it upon yourself to try to put her sister out in the garage, so just so the oldest daughter can have her own room? Like, I don't believe that. Like, cut the shit. I don't believe it, and I'm not going for it, because it was just fine. As I just said, it was just fine before you got there. So anyway, he's been working on this room for like 2 weeks, and it still looks fucked down, fucked the fuck down. That's what it looks like. And he's been working on it. And like I said, he's getting ready for this daddy daughter dance or whatever. So he's literally trying to like throw together this makeshift fucking hell house. He's trying to throw it together all last minute so he can get over to the dance, and he's gonna, come back and fix it up a little bit more later. And like I said before, Bobby's sitting on a couch looking hella displaced. She got all her stuff around her. And why is Taylor's house so damn junky? Like, there's the shit everywhere. She's trying to get the girls, together for the dance, and the oldest girl wasn't really saying much, but the younger one, she seemed like slightly, I guess, excited. And honestly, I'm not even gonna hold that against the girls, because they don't know any better. They don't know that their mom's an idiot and that she's selling, she's trying to, you know, do whatever. Like, they don't know that. So of course they're going along with it. They're excited just to have, a quote unquote father figure in their life. So, that's what it is. So finally, he brings Taylor and Bobby outside, shows them what he's created. And when I tell you, it looks sad AF. There's a dirty ass couch, there's no walls, there's mismatched kitchen cabinets, exposed nails, you name it was going on in there. And I'm like, I'm very I go up for really enjoying my environment and creating my home space in a way that makes me comfortable and brings me joy. So you're already trying to put her in the garage. The least you could do is make it look halfway decent. When I told you that couch was dirt stained up, it was a hazard. There needed to be a hazmat freaking sign up on the window. There's junk there's all these ACs in the corner. There's all these just Christmas decorations, just random ass garage shit, I guess. He says that he's gonna get rid of it. He reassures her that he's gonna get rid of it. But I don't believe it. He just wants to get her out the house by any means necessary. And honestly, Bobby was a very good sport in this situation, because I would have been like, oh, you thought I was about to come out here? That's what you thought? You have me all the way messed up, sir. Get fucked. That's what I would have told him. And I would have told him, you could take my sister right with you, because the way that Taylor didn't say anything, she didn't make a peep. And in her confessional, she's just like clearly underwhelmed by it. All of us can see it. It's as clear as day. It looks like trash. But she didn't say that. And that's what bothers me the most, is that you're letting this man come in here and run your household as if he's been paying bills in this motherfucker, and dictating how y'all are going to live your lives. And I'm just like, no ma'am. So in the end, she helps Bobby move her stuff out there. And she's like, you're going to stay out here. Like, if you get scared, I always have a couch. You can always come inside. I don't want you out here scared or anything like that. And Bobby's just kind of like, at this point, I think Bobby's just like, honestly, I don't have anywhere else to go. I'm just going to do this for the time being. And if I was her, I hope she's plotting on her next move, because I would not stay anywhere that, A, I'm not wanted, and B, I'm not comfortable in. Hell no. No one deserves that. I don't care. So, needless to say, she does actually wind up spending the night there. She's there looking like a sad dog. She actually sleeps on that dirty ass couch. And I'm just like, girl, oh no. She actually sleeps on this couch. And then we pan over to Chance. He's at the dance with his daughters. Oh my god, that almost came out my mouth. I'm sorry. Chance is actually, because he's actually making me physically sick at this point. He's, dancing with the girls. He's down at the dance and everything, and he's saying how, he really stepped into his father role because they don't have that, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, yada 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 yada. And like I said before, the girls are, they're seemingly having fun, but I don't buy it, and I hate it actually at this point. So I guess we'll see more of how this continues to unfold and unravel and roll downhill with them. But getting to the next couple, let's just get like these other little, who had a little bit of stuff going on. Let me flipping through my notes right here trying to see who else had. Yeah, Kevin and Tiffany. I only got about 2 things on them. So Kevin and Tiffany, we know last week Kevin went off to work and Tiffany found some panties that were not hers up in his drawer. And she calls her friend, I think her name was Veronica or something like that. And she's like, girl, tell me why I just found these panties up in his drawer. These are not mine. And when I tell you, I hollered at her friend saying, oh my God, her friend literally is like, damn, that's crazy. And I'm just like, when I tell you I screamed at that point, like I was dying. Hey, Joseph Felton, thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through and checking me out. I know it's last minute, but I appreciate you. We're just getting into it. This is one of my favorite shows, so I had to come through, even though this episode didn't give that much. But we're here, honey. So, like I was saying, Kevin and Tiffany. So Tiffany found the panties. She's on the phone with her friend, and her friend's like, damn, that's crazy. Da 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 da. She's like, do you think they're Kayla's? And Tiffany's kind of like, I don't know, but all I do know is that this kind of just solidifies the fact that he's still been doing what he does best, which is creep and be unfaithful. So at this point, she's like, you know what, I've been giving it my all. I'm trying to do the damn thing, but it's just not working at this point. And I'm not about to sit around and play the fool. I'm not about to sit around looking stupid and all of that. So she leaves him a note saying, get your act together, and then maybe, I don't remember verbatim what she said, but it was something along the lines of, get your act together, and then maybe we can talk, maybe we could figure it out then, when you can actually be a man of your word. And she's done. She leaves the keys, she leaves the panties sprawled out on the bed, and I was like, that's something petty I would do, okay? Yeah, this episode was all right for the most part. Yeah, I agree, Joseph. I agree. It wasn't given too much. I said in the beginning how I feel like, we need to get reacquainted with everybody, kind of check in, see what's tea with everybody before we could really obviously start really diving into just a couple storylines and whatnot. Because there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4. We haven't even seen was it Ray and Brittany? They're up here. We haven't seen them yet. And so there's like 8 couples total. So I'm assuming in the next episode or 2, they'll start, like breaking it into 4 and 4, like 4 to 1 week, 4 next week, whatever, because it's just a lot. And we only really got like 10, 12 minutes at most of like everybody. So for it to be like, what, the episodes are like an hour and a half, like hour, 40 minutes, however long. Because I couldn't find it on my Fire Stick, unfortunately. So I had to watch it like with the commercials and everything, which was kind of annoying. And I was just like, honestly, though, the actual meat of the episode wasn't even that much because we just kept bouncing over and over to everybody. So, but nonetheless, I'm going to watch it. I'm still going to review it and everything. We're still going to get on here and talk. So it's all good. But back with Tiffany and Kevin, we also then see, like I said before, he's at work, and we see his friend Mike, who I think is, kind of fine. Not gonna lie, it's kind of fine. We kind of see them for a second, and Kevin's whole thing, I feel like, is he's just looking for the situation to blow over and not really fix it, which means he hasn't learned his lesson, which means he doesn't really value Tiffany. We know he doesn't value Kayla. That's for damn sure. But he damn sure doesn't value Tiffany as well. And do you guys think that this is a couple that's going to make it? Like, do you see them being together? I don't know. I kind of had high hopes for a second when I found out that they were going to try to embark on this whole, bringing a quote unquote third party girlfriend, whatever, into the mix, I kind of thought, okay, maybe it will work. But now it's looking like, not so much, possibly. So, for me at least, I'm only speaking for myself, but, I'd love to know what you guys think about that. But I really, yeah, that was really it for them for the most part. Let's get into who do we want to get into next? Who else gave us just a smidge? Let's get into Chance and or Chance, Chaz and Branwyn. Okay, this is another couple that a lot of people, especially on Twitter, have been saying like, I really don't know why we brought them back. Like, their storyline is so it's definitely forced, and more so on Branwyn's part. But we see him finishing up his show. She's over there with Aaron, over there with the ex Aaron who got her locked up. We just gotta put that disclaimer out there. She's over there with him, and I'm sorry, but the first thing I thought, which I know they said before, but I was just like, I'm just looking at both of them. I was like, Jesus, they've both done so many drugs together. Like, there's just too much going on in this scene between them. They have a volatile history, as they said before, and I don't want anyone to ever think just because you have a quote unquote like history with somebody that means that's going to be your person in life or anything like that. Like, no, not at all. We also, find more out about him, obviously still always wanting this old thing back. He always going to want this old thing back, right? She on the other hand, she's over it. She's already over this marriage. They've only been married for a month. We see them celebrate their 1 month anniversary later on the episode. But overall, like, girl, what it all comes down to for me, Branwyn knows she doesn't want that poor man. Just let him down easy already. I agree, Joseph. I definitely agree. And I don't know more so if it's about like, okay, I don't know who I feel more bad for or more like, I guess it's equal. Like, I guess it's just, for me, it's just like, okay, you guys both just, clean your hands with it. Everybody part their ways and kind of go on with it. Because in her case, it's kind of like, girl, I need you to have more self-confidence in yourself, because I feel like you're just running away from the possibility of relapsing. You're running away from the possibility of going down that same path. You're running away from the what ifs or the possibilities, when you should be putting more emphasis on yourself and having more confidence in yourself to know like, hey, no, not going down that path again. I'm better than that. I got too much to live for. This is my second chance at, having a relationship with my daughter. Like, I'm good. And then on his case, I want him to stop seeking love in all the wrong places and kind of maybe see what's, right in front of him, obviously, which is, hey, she's just not into you. Like, it's not a movie, like, or a song or something. Like, she's just not that into you, man. Like, that's what it comes down to. And I do, it is going to suck. It really is. And I think once she makes that realization about herself, hopefully by the end of the season, she can tell him like, hey, this is, not, I don't want to hurt you, but this is not what I see for myself right now, and they can kind of part ways, at least amicably enough. But we'll see. They're definitely two people. Obviously, they're not going to make it. And then the last little bit with them was that her daughter FaceTimes her, and basically she's doing all this with the hope, maybe a little bit in the back of her head, that maybe, she's setting herself up right with him or whatever, quote unquote, in her mind, and that she's going to be able to foster an environment that maybe her sister will, her daughter will want to come and move with her in Kentucky. And her daughter lets her know like, mom, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good where I'm at over here. I'm good. Like, that's not what I'm looking for right now. And we also know, even from the first season when we've seen them, her daughter's not really the biggest Chaz fan overall. So yeah. And actually, I think we got one more scene with them. Sorry. Where they had their little FaceTime 1 year anniversary, little, FaceTime date. And, Chaz is just basically drooling over her. And honestly, I kind of like, I guess it's more so like to me when he shows this whole energy, just because I know she doesn't want it and she's not into him. But honestly, it's really not that bizarre to obviously, I'm a married woman. Like I, am super attracted to my husband, obviously, and vice versa. And it's like, oh, damn, that's my husband. Like, and that's typically how we are in relationships and marriages and stuff like that, where you're head over heels for your partner. So it's really not bizarre that he's like that. It's only just cringy and this um space because we know that she's not really into him, and there's still that disconnect. There's no connection between them, honestly, and he needs to take the blinders off. He needs to just really see what's in front of him, and realize she's not that into you, and stop being insecure about this whole Aaron thing, because that's just continuing to drive a wedge in between situation as well, because he asked her like, oh, what about Aaron? But that's really it for them. Why don't we just go ahead and just knock out Brittany and Marcelino right here? Because, whew, boy. So we've seen Brittany and Marcelino time and time again. They're this franchise. This is OGs, and we picked back up with her. Last week Marcelino left her high and dry with those kids at her showing for the $3 million house, which was just a tisk 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 in my opinion, and made us ask questions like, okay, what more is going on here? We still don't know exactly. We haven't gotten to the nitty gritty about what could possibly be going on, but I think we all kind of have a little idea in the back of our heads. But for now, we know that she is just, she's telling her sister what happened. She's out on the back patio, and she's telling her sister what happened, and he walks in and comes out and sits down, and she just goes right in for the questions, of course, and she's like, is there anything you want to tell me? Because we've barely been having any sex. Da 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 da. You just dropped the kids off with me. I couldn't even finish my showing and stuff like that. Like, and she goes and she's like, can I see your phone? And that's where I got to get off the bus with it, because it's just like, if you got to ask your partner that, and if that's what you got to stoop to and stuff like that, then you guys really do have a lot more issues you need to work out. And not to mention, Brittany, like, come on, that's like the oldest trick in the book. We all know that, that if you've ever been there, that you gonna ask somebody something, like if somebody's creeping, you want to at least, if you're gonna be creeping, you got to be smart enough to at least delete the messages, right? So are we really just gonna sit here and ask him that? But honestly, now that I'm thinking of it, it really didn't matter in this situation, because she still found what was tea in his phone, which was that, I think it was he had been texting or chatting with girls, maybe, that he was looking at naked women, there's porn, all types of stuff. So, and she was not comfortable with that at this point, more so because, especially the porn, because of the fact that the lack of intimacy between them at this current time. It's kind of like, well, if you're not showing me that type of attention, you're showing it more over here, like, that's a bigger issue. That's a big issue for me. Um, it's kind of like Branwen is being nice to Chaz because he was there for her when she got out, but soon realized the love was there on her end. Feels like sympathy love to me. Yeah, yeah, I think there might be a taste of that right now. Um, there's definitely the situation is definitely laced with that, I think, as well as just her just complete uncertainty about how, like, she just is so afraid of potentially, failing, or she sees him as a way of security. He represents security. He represents a stable environment, a quote unquote, well, I always, like, when I was younger, heard like the saying, it's like, what's good for you is not always good to you, or just because something is in your eyes is what you think, how your life should be, or what is good for you, or whatever, but that doesn't really mean anything in the end if that's not what's going to make you happy. That's if that's not what's going to make you fulfilled, then is it really good for you then? Just because that's the quote unquote way you're supposed to, do life, or that's the quote unquote type of partner that's like ideal or whatever, like on paper. On paper, I'm sure he looks like great and stuff like that, but if he's not checking all the boxes to really, fulfill you, then as your husband should, your spouse should, then you're really just doing yourself a disservice and continuing just to waste more, valuable time in your life. But I digress. But thank you for the comment, Joseph. Back to Brittany and Marcelino. Um, she kind of just has a breakdown in the kitchen, and he says, he doesn't he's not vocal about things with her because she takes everything out of context. And then her main thing really is, she says he makes her feel like, ugly and unwanted, and just, I guess she just feels very, and like, not valuable in the marriage. And I honestly, in the end, I think that's kind of both. They kind of both have um the same concerns and the same complaints, I think, honestly, in the end, if you really think about it. But let me get into that in just a second. She, starts crying, and basically there's no solution or resolution to the things, I think, that night. I guess, at least, if we're not basing this on fabrication, if we're not basing these storylines there specifically that it's, fabricated, we're going to say that, they didn't resolve things that night. So then they turn to counseling, and they're at least kind of on speaking terms on their way there. But we see them go to counseling, and you can see it written all over Marcelino's face. You can see it written all over his face that he's just like, kind of like mentally tapped out, mentally checked out at this point. And in turn, that makes her, I guess, like, feel like she just ingests all the guilt from the situation, um, based on this. And he kind of makes it about, like, he's just being overwhelmed by, being a full-time stay-at-home dad. And he did that in support of her with her real estate career and stuff like that. When honestly, let me just stop right here and say, I kind of feel like, not that that was like a cop out, but I have to say that, to me, wasn't he just doing like he was trying to start this whole poker thing? He wasn't completely like, um he was just starting out. It wasn't like a fully blown career where he was he was raking in all the coins. I don't think. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that tells me, like, at that point, it should kind of, in my opinion, be that whoever's career is not jumping off like how the household needs it to, who's bringing in the most money. Doesn't that kind of tell you that whoever, yeah, by default, the other person kind of takes the role of staying home with the kids? That's just how I'm looking at it, I assume, right? Like, okay, if um her career is making more money right now than the other person, just, yeah, by default. So I don't really think I don't really like how he worded that. But I'm going on, a rant about that. So let me just stop. Hey my girl. Hey, ranting with Ricardo. I'm glad you stopped by. Do you watch the show? I didn't know if you watched the show or not, but I'm glad you're here supporting me as usual. But yeah, um, I was just like, I didn't really like how he worded that so much. And so after that, what was I gonna say? After that, they kind of go back and forth, and it gets to the point where Brittany kind of just has like a meltdown almost, where it's just like, she's like, okay, um, it's just, I feel like I put too much on. The situation is just too much for Marcelino to handle at this point. Like, too much to happen too fast. It was just, kids and this and that and marriage. Like, it was just so much. And I feel like, basically, she feels like he's just kind of like, I guess, kind of falling out of love with her. He's not attracted to her. And I watch it on and off. Brittany and Mars need to stop playing. That's kind of what I'm getting into right now. It's just kind of like, at this point, are you guys, I hope it's all just for a storyline. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I never want to say that about shows, obviously, because we want to, hope that this reality is really real, right? But in this case, I hope that it's kind of just for a storyline, just because they want to stay on here, because it's just the math ain't mathing with their situation right now. It's just like it's not. And I at the same time though, I will say it is very it's very possible, it's very plausible for people to um for it to be more of an issue after a couple introduces like a third party or whatever, entertains outside people in the bedroom and stuff like that, that can cause more issues, especially in this situation. If you guys are already not on solid footing, if you guys are already like, if there's already freaking if you guys are already on the rocks, then do not, and I'm telling, like, I can say this because I've seen it with my own eyes, people that I know personally, like, do not try to go and do all these, like, oh, this will save the marriage, or this will cause some more spice, sometimes like that, especially if you guys are already having issues as it pertains to other people or other things and stuff like that. Like, don't do it, don't do it, I'm telling you right now, don't do it. And this is the exact reason right now they are having issues, at least on Marcelino's account, because we're peeling back the layers at this point. We're in this therapy session, and you can see Marcelino's kind of like just, he's checked out, and then it kind of turns into just being pissed off with this whole situation. He's frustrated and stuff like that, because just as Brittany doesn't feel like, attractive or she's not getting what she needs and stuff like that, he's feeling like that too, where it's like, after we had the threesome with Amanda and stuff like that, I felt like she was more into Amanda. And on one hand, it's like, I totally get that. That could be very off-putting. I totally get that and stuff like that. But honestly, I think it was more so just kind of like, she probably was just caught up in like the thrill of like, this is something fun or whatever. But it didn't have to mean necessarily she was trying to ride off into the sunset with her anymore. I think Brittany, she did kind of used to press that a lot, I think. And we kind of saw in like their earlier seasons and stuff like that, that we could kind of see like, okay, her heart being a little torn between the two. But I honestly think when she said like, hey, let's have this threesome, it kind of was just more based on the fact that she just, wanted to kind of spice it up and, kind of maybe have her cake and eat it too, but not in a way that she wanted to give up their union and what they were building as a family unit and a married couple. I don't think that that's what she was trying to do with it. But like I said before, sometimes you go into these types of things with all the best intentions, and it turns to ash in your mouth. I think Marcelino can't stand the fact that his ex-convict wife is actually doing better than him financially, and he's just a stay-at-home dad. Like, dude, try to be a good sport about Brittany. That's kind of what I was trying to get at before. It was just kind of like, that was kind of one of the first things he said, was kind of like, oh, well, I'm doing this to support her real estate career and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, like, no, you're doing this because, one, you're their parent too, and two, your career wasn't booming as much as hers was. Someone's got to put food on the table. Somebody's got to keep things going around there. So if her career is doing better than yours, then that's what we're gonna go with right now. And one day it might be different, and then she might be a stay-at-home mom then, and you might be out there killing it on the poker table. Like, but you can't be mad at anybody for that. Like, you can't, whatever, man. I like I said, I'm hoping that this is all just them just trying to grasp at straws for a storyline, because the math is not completely mathing with these two. But it kind of just all ends in her not feeling good enough for him, and he's just kind of like, again, I feel like he's just kind of at the moment just tapped out. But that's really all we have with them. So let's move right on over to, okay, let's just go on ahead. Amber and Puppy, we got well, if you've watched the previous seasons, obviously Amber and Puppy and this one and that one and this, they always had like an extra person in their situation. But Amber and Puppy are back, y'all. And we first see them, Amber is down there at the event little space. She's officiating her parents, I don't know if this is an actual marriage, like, I don't know if they actually got married or it was just like just a general like commitment ceremony. I don't know. I don't want to misspeak. But she's down there, And I thought it was a sweet scene. I thought it was nice, and it seems like obviously her mom is doing good, which is great if you ask me. And right in the middle of everything, she's trying to, do the ceremony and everything. And where is Puppy? It's always where is Puppy? Like Puppy, just she be MIA. She be doing puppy things. um, and so they're down there, and finally Puppy and Eric walk in. And when I tell you, first of all, I would have been like, oh no, you gotta stay in the back. Like, no, no, no. You're not about to come in here interrupting everything all loud and stuff. It was all quiet and shit. Like, she coming in there like it's her wedding day or whatever. Like, okay, no. Like, ma'am, you can stand in the back. You're late, you can stand in the back. But her and Eric, they come speeding on through. They sit down. He like made it. And so Amber does her thing and everything, and woo, yeah, kiss, kiss, everything's good. And afterwards, they walk over to greet Puppy and Eric, and of course, like her mom's name is Monica. She's like, oh, introducing the dad to Puppy and kind of just informing him of how they got to be, as close as they are, which, as we all know, is was heavily based on the fact that Amber and Puppy, they kind of had their whole uh their little thing, if you will, up when they were in jail together. So when Monica says that right off the bat, I already knew as soon as those words were uttered off of her lips, I knew Eric was going to be like, "Mm." And of course his face twisted right up at that thought, and it's just like, dude, like you know that's what it is. So like, just get over it. At this point, get over it. So after that whole prison relationship comment and stuff like that, I feel like he had his ass on his back. From then on out, his ass was on his back. And so then Puppy lets us know, when we seen them last time, we found out that she had a warrant out and she needed to go turn herself in, which she wound up doing. I want to know how her mom is doing. I'm really wondering, but anyway, I hope she's okay. Like, I hope she's all right. But I'm assuming we'll get into that later on. Um, just Amber stopped the ceremony for Puppy. Like, nice of you to join the rest of the class. Exactly. I was just like, girl, like, I would have been sick. Like, no, 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 ma'am. You can stand your ass right in the back. Like, bye. Um, but after that, Puppy says how when she went and got locked up she was in there for about a week, and we know that they were about to go on a Vegas trip. So tell me why Eric still went on a Vegas trip. And honestly, like, I wasn't too mad. Okay, wait, let me think. Was I bothered by this? I kind of was on one hand, just because honestly, like, I'm not like a huge Eric fan, obviously. So it's kind of like, really, you just want to just leave? It was the way he went about it and stuff like that. Like, honestly, no. Do you want to waste money? Of course not. And like, could you do anything while she's locked up anyway? Like, no, you just sitting at home anyway, waiting to go, pick her up when she gets out. But like, it was just the way he just had no regard for her situation and was like no support for her during that time at all. And it just gave me a bad taste in my mouth from the get-go about that. So we also see Queen. I liked her last season. We got a little, a scene or two with her, and I like what she be spitting, because it be nothing but facts. And she sees what all of us see, and she's vocal about it, and she calls Eric on his shit later on, pretty much, in this scene. And so they're all sitting down talking about their relationship, and we find out that Mr. Eric is still married. He is still legally married, apparently. Puppy lets us know that no, like, he's separated though. Like, I'm with him every day. And I was like, girl, now have you seen any other show? Have you seen any other show on your TV screen? Because I will tell you, Miss Ma'am, that don't always mean shit. That don't always mean that these men or women, just because they're married and are quote unquote separated, that does not always mean that other person's not in the picture, or that they're really going to leave them or anything like that. So I'm like, let's get that thought out our heads right now. I'm not saying that that's what he's doing just yet, because we don't know any more information. But all I'm gonna say is the fact that you've been bugging him about this for a year, anybody that seriously wants to commit to you and be with you and have a life with you and wants to leave all of that baggage in their past is going to be more purposeful about how fast they get up on out of that old marriage. Like, he hasn't made no leeway on it in a year. Nah, something don't smell right about that. So, but and at the same time, it's like, dude. So at the same time, you're always getting up on her ass about everything under the sun, but you got a whole wife somewhere. Like, you got issues and that you need to handle as well. So it's screaming red flag for me, is what it all comes down to. Not a married man, puppy. You don't no power and no deed. The wife could come back and say, Eric, I want you home, and he would run. Not to mention whose house is that? Let us find out that her name is still up on. Like, no, couldn't be me, wouldn't be me, never gonna be me. Because at the end of the day, that could cause you a whole world of trouble that you do not need, Miss Ma'am. You do not need it, because then you're gonna be going right back to where you just checked out of. Puppy, please abort mission. This man is not going to claim you anytime soon, and will not. Nope, and does not plan on it, because he would have been up out that he would have. No, hell no, no. Everything y'all just said. So, what was I saying? The whole time, mind you, the whole time they're speaking about this, Puppy's she, and the thing is, she knows that it smells funky. She knows that it's not right, because she's given these very vague answers. She's kind of just like, what did she say when Queen was like, oh, are you happy or something like that? And I forget exactly what she said, but it was just kind of like day by day, or she just gave some just wish-washy, like, like, no, we could read right through it. Like, and please don't do this to yourself. You don't need those type of problems. You have an opportunity, just like we were saying with Brandon, when you have all the opportunity in the world to have more self-confidence about yourself. You have all the opportunities in the world to do, what you need to do. And like, look at Amber. Look to the left of you. Amber's doing a damn thing. Like, she's I'm pretty sure she's still the manager down at her job. She got her own place. She got her own, like, she's got her stuff, going on for her. And you guys, come from the same situation, basically. So if she could do it, why can't you? You have a good support system around you for the most part. Your mom loves you to death. You got Amber. You got, a Queen. Queen said, she was like, honey, yeah, I do time. Like, when she was digging in Eric's shit. I don't know if you guys caught that, when she was like, yeah, I does time, sweetie. So don't try. Basically, I'm clocking your shit, and you're not about to pull a fast one over here, buddy. Child, God forbid something happens to Eric. His wife is next of kin. Power. That's what I'm saying. Power of attorney. Puppy's drinking dumb batch juice. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't want those problems. You don't. Right? Like, Eric, you still got a whole wife out here. Have several seats, sir. I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't. The pot is calling the kettle black when it comes to Eric, and I don't like that type of stuff. I do not. And he's all being all judgy and nope. We're about to turn the spotlight right on you. You on candy camera now. Anyway, so I will say, to a degree, yeah, is it anybody's business what you guys got going on? No. But when there's red flags and it's somebody who really cares about you, they're going to speak on that. Otherwise, they're doing you a disservice. If I see something and I call you my friend, my sister, my, whoever, I'm not really rocking with you like that if I'm not willing to speak on what I see. So bye, Eric. And it all comes down to the fact that Eric don't want them talking to Puppy or getting in her ear, quote unquote, or anything like that, or putting her on to what's real, sis, because he doesn't want them to take the blinders off. He has her kind of isolated over there Last season, like, he had her super isolated. Like, Amber couldn't even find out what was going on with her. Remember, she popped up over there and she's like, Amber, what are you doing here? Like, he has her all just tightly wound up. And what's really going on is the fact that he's I don't know if you want to say brainwashing, or just has her just, head over heels. Just like Amber said, she's so in love with him, but that amount of love is not completely being reciprocated from Eric back to Puppy. And that's why he doesn't want anyone to speak on what they got going on or get in her ear about anything, because he knows that he's fugazi. So, mm-mm. And Amber ain't buying it. In the end, after Eric leaves her, because he just is so fed up at this point, he leaves her at this event. Amber comes over to see what's wrong. She can see her friend is visibly upset. And now she's pissed off because, she sees how much this is affecting Puppy, and how this is just not, this is bad. This whole situation is bad juju. So, thank God for, I'm not going to, yeah, thank God for Amber in this situation, even though it's not, her responsibility, of course. And I really, really hope Puppy doesn't turn the tables. You know how when people, you you all know how when people are in situations and stuff like that, they kind of take that person's side, the partner side that's doing them dirty, instead of like their, friend side or family member side or whatever that's trying to help them out of a situation, or is, calling it for what it is. I hope Puppy doesn't try to throw this back on Amber's face, or try to play her out or whatever, when she's really just caring about has your best interest at heart. I really hope that's not what she does. But so next, okay, let's talk about Lindsay and Deontay. Oh. So Lindsay, her friend TC, PC, whatever his name is, he's still locked up currently, and she's still hell bent on getting him out, y'all. She just she just gets such a thrill when those streets come calling. Lindsay is going to answer the phone every time. That's just how she is. And she's so determined on getting him out. She's telling Blame, like, if it was you, I would do the same thing. But I got this warrant, you got your stuff going on. So she enlists the help of her friend Jerry to come down to her rescue, and to basically rescue TC out of the situation, because he got a clean record, and he's all good to go as far as that. So she hands him over like almost $800 in cash. And I'm sorry to judge books by covers, but when I tell you, I don't know if I would have gave Jerry $800, because I don't know, like, I don't know, he was looking a little sketch, okay? But she says he's a good dude, that's her dude, so she gave him the money. He was supposed to go down there and bail TC out. Nope, joke's on us, because TC, or joke's on Lindsay, I should say, because TC can't get out that day, because I guess whoever does the money or whatever, the person at the prison, is not there to bail him. They can't do the transaction that night. So she's doing all this. She missed her job interview behind this. She has been running around. This is her first day out. She's doing all this, hasn't even seen her daughter, hasn't done none of this, trying to get somebody out of prison, only to find out, ma'am, he gonna have to sit in there for a whole other 24 hours. Like, So this is at this point, and handing over 800 in cash. No, ma'am. If you could have seen, I wish I got a screenshot of what this man looked like. I was like, what the? Oh, hell no. Hell no. No, sorry. I'm sorry. I had to say it. But at this point, Blaine, her friend, they're in the car, and he gives her a reality check. She drives on fuck shit, and he gives her a reality check, because he's like, bro, you can't be doing this. You got a daughter, you got more to live for, and just because you're trying to do well for yourself and trying to leave that type of life in the past, does not mean that you don't still care about these individuals, that you just gotta like love certain people from a distance, especially when they're can possibly lead you down a path that can set you back into that type of lifestyle. Like, at this point, you have too much going on. You have too much riding on you staying out of prison, ma'am. Like way too much. And again, and because in the end, who's gonna suffer if you get locked back up? Your daughter, your mom, because again, your mom is not going to be here forever to continue to take care of your daughter. And she already let us know last season that the daughter's father is not in her life. So at that point, all she has is you. So that's what you should be shifting your focus onto. And Blaine basically tells her all this in so many words. And he honestly gets moved to tears because he's just like, dude, like, girl, like, you gotta get your shit together. You gotta stop that. And I really hope she takes, heed to his warnings and stuff like that, because these streets don't love nobody. And they're gonna continue to catch up to you time and time again till unfortunately they might not catch up to you and you're gonna be 6 feet under one after a while. There's only two ways out of that. Like, and I'm sure you guys know the rest of that saying. So mind you, Deontay don't know that any of this is going on really, to this extent. He says, he understands her loyalty, but he also knows he doesn't agree with it. He doesn't support the decision. And a percentage of it is based on the fact that, he's kind of just like weary about her having all these male friends and stuff like that. He got burned last season, y'all. He got burned by Nicole. So he's, kind of skeptical. And at the same time, he also doesn't know anything about his warrants. He's also on his way from Newport News, Virginia, all the way to whatever part of Mississippi they are. He's making that 12-hour drive, y'all. And I was like, oh, you better than me. He didn't tell his mother that he was going because he knows that she would have been on his ass talking about you're a fool. Like, why are you being dumb? I know I raised you better than this. So he didn't tell her that. And yeah, he's still making his way. He feels like this situation is legit, however, because she hasn't taken his money. And I'm like, dude, you do know that, yes, is that a red flag? Oftentimes when on this show, especially when people are just, receiving money from the person really and not getting anything else from the situation or whatever, like when there's just a lot of monetary transactions between two people, yes, most definitely. However, she could still be running game on your ass in a different way, even if she's not taking your money. Or she could be doing all this for clout, or clout meaning she just wants to stay on the show. She could be using you for, like, you don't know. She might get you in person and then ask you for some money that you do not know. She don't mean you know well, Deontay, and you need to go find you somebody else who wasn't locked up for some bullshit. You need to go find somebody maybe closer to you. Just focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. I'm gonna hit him with that. Focus on yourself right now. And then we get back over with her, seeing her daughter. She's grown tremendously. When I say growth spurt, I was like, woo. And guess what? That's going to happen every single time your ass gets locked up for 18 months. You get locked up, she's going to keep growing. She's going to keep growing inches and inches and inches on your ass. And so they go play a little, basketball a little bit. And of course, Miley Grace, she's excited to see her mom, of course. But she's grown, and not only like physically her stature and everything, she's also has a very good head on her shoulders. She says, she has really good grades. Before she kind of basically says, you don't, she sees her mom for what she is. And that's mostly based on historically, we've seen what happened with her and Scott. And I bring that up because when Lindsay tells her daughter about Deontay, she's skeptical, and it's mostly based on the Scott situation, and also coupled with the fact that that's just how her mom is. Her mom can be very like she can be very she's just all over the place. So her daughter, she's like, what's he look like? And she was like, oh yeah, he doesn't look anything like Scott, like, because we know, Scott the whole mouth situation, and he wasn't he looked like Scott. He was yeah, I mean, he was my type, but I'm not I ain't got shit to do with me. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. And so she was like, what does he look like or whatever? So she shows her some pictures and she's like, oh, okay, like, he's better looking than the last guy, I guess. And they all, share some more words and stuff like that before her mom pulls up to pick her up. And her mom, I was like, sometimes these parents could be hit or miss, but for most part, like, everybody's parents we've seen so far has been right on the money. And I don't remember her mom's name, but she was definitely someone I was going up for because she's sticking to her guns, honey. She's like, you don't need to try to make up anything to me right now. You need to be trying to make it up to God, then your daughter, and then me and you can talk about, us rekindling our relationship and everything, and working on our mother-daughter relationship. But right now, you need to do that in that sequence and just that. And Lindsay, she says, I know what to do. I just gotta do it. And I just gotta, not even stray a toe off, the wrong path. And, da 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 da. She's saying all the right stuff. She's saying all the good stuff. And it's like, in the back of her head, I'm sure she does know this stuff. But it's like, are you going to do it, ma'am? Are you going to do it? Are you actually going to stay on the right path? Are you going to be here for your daughter? Are you going to put all these things into motion this time around? If not, then stop blowing smoke up our asses. And, her mom kind of ends on, whatever happens, don't disappoint this child. And I was like, a word. Like, at the end of the day, that's who you need to be worried about. And that's what Blaine was trying to tell you. That's what everybody's trying to say to you. But we quickly saw, as fast as you got out of prison, guess what? You got the streets came a calling, and you was trying to run down there to bail motherfuckers out, and you can't be linking like that. You just can't. But that was really all we saw with them. Deontay didn't get there yet, so yeah. Sean and Sarah. Sean. Sean that I can't stand. Sarah that I can't really stand either. So they're at home. She's still kind of like unsure of that grandma is just tired. It's written all over her face. Pretty much. Like, she been raising this girl, since birth, pretty much, probably? Like, yeah, of course, she's tired. She needs a break. She needs a break and a break and a break and a break and a break. And she needs you to come be a mother to your child. Like, but at the same time, I have to give it up to her because she wasn't so quick to just let Lindsay back in. She wasn't so quick to just let her guard down, It's like, basically, I feel like she's like, if you fooled me once or whatever, because we saw last season how she was, willing to, bring Miley Grace over, and she was kind of supportive for the most part of her and, Scott's situation and all that. But now she's like, nope, you fooled me once, not again. So back to Sean and Sarah. They're at home. She's still like unsure if his family liked her. And I'm just like, girl, that is, little do you know, that's the least of your worries. Okay. Y'all don't forget to like the video, please. She's unsure though at this moment, and he reassures her like the Sean he is. And he's the type of person that just, when I see him, he just pisses, like, I look at him and he just pisses me off. And I think, did you guys catch it when the producer was like, Sean, why are you making that face? Why are you making funny faces? And I was like, ma'am, he's not making funny faces. His face is just funny. Like, I'm sorry. Like, no, that's just his face. No. So he expresses to her, of course, that he wants his kids for the wedding, which will mean that Kelly needs to be present as well. And she's like, are you out of your mind? Like, she's totally not on board with that. And yes, do I understand that? Because in normal circumstances, I would totally be like, you're out of your, like, what? You want your, who? Like, why would you think that she's invited? Hell no. Because Sarah's like, okay, fine. So does that mean I should just invite my ex then? We just bring the whole damn family together, right? Okay, well, just one big happy family. And Sean's like, no, that's not what it means or whatever. And he's saying that because he knows that Kelly is not going to just be like, yeah, let me just ship the kids away. The kids that you haven't seen in a year. The kids that you don't be there for on a daily basis, the kids that you don't make sure they're good, you don't make sure nothing. You just leave it all to Kelly 365 days out the year. They're all Kelly's responsibility. You're a deadbeat. You're a pop in, pop out father. And I don't like that shit. And neither does Kelly. And I'm glad every single chance she gets, her foot is on your neck. I'm so glad of it. So glad. So they kind of go back and forth about that. And, but Sarah, the way she always is trying to come at Kelly, though, at the same time, and thinking that she still wants Sean, or the way she tries to, like, verbally shit on Kelly all the time. And I'm just like, girl, you do know you can't, say, oh, you want to meet the kids and you want the kids a part of y'all's life and stuff like that, and continue to shit on their mom who's never done anything to you. And I'm always side-eyeing women or men too. I'm not gender discriminatory whatsoever, but I'm always going to side-eye any parent or any person that is with somebody who's a parent that is okay with them being an absent parent in their kids' lives. I will never go up for that shit. I will never stand for that. Like, the fact that you know he has 6 kids and you're just like, oh, you guys are over here like in your little house doing your little thing, whatever, and damn well he hasn't seen them in 6 years. Well, who knows? In a minimum of 1 year, and you're just like not, and you're not like wondering like what's up with that. I can never be with nobody that has kids out there and they're just not doing what they're supposed to do as a parent. No, hell no, no way in hell. Sean has a very fungible face to me, and yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's just he just, I don't know. It's just maybe the situation that just makes it like worse. It just makes me just want to. I just want to just donkey kick him all the time. Sean wanting this rando jailbird frequent flyer to meet his children trash garbage fill. Stop it with the names. My sis always comes through with the names, y'all. But yeah, he really is like, it just infuriates me, and it's obviously because it's like 6 of them. But well, I'm assuming it's only like at least 5, right? Because the oldest son, we see he was off in the army and stuff, and he's grown. So I want to say it's probably 5. But anyway, I'm going on a rant again. So, looking at my notes. Yeah, Sarah's whole thing is she thinks Kelly wants to sabotage their union pretty much. And then she brings up Destiny, of course. And I'm like, honestly, yes, that's who you should be worried about. But at the same time, it all comes back to Sean, and everything is based on the fact that Sean lies to everybody and is on bullshit at all times. Like this, it all comes back to that. So if anybody wants to be mad at anybody, everybody just be mad at Sean. Let's all gang up on Sean. Let's all, in unison, let's all boo Sean. Boo Sean, you're a deadbeat. Like that's what everyone should be doing. So anyway, and then he refers to Destiny as a practice run. I'm like, what the? Okay, just everything that comes out of his mouth it just raises my blood pressure continuously. Sarah, have 5 more babies of your own by Sean, and see he treats you in the next 5 to 10 years. You can have several seats too, ma'am. That's what I'm saying. Like, exactly. She's talking all this big shit, and it's just like he's just going to do you the same, right? He's just only going along with you because you gave him the time of day when Destiny didn't, and you're just like going along with it for whatever reason. I don't know why. So after this, Sarah goes over to the salon with Tina, who is Sean's sister, and they talk about, they basically talk about how bad of a communicator Sean is, which, totally understand. He totally is. But then in the end, they agree that he's a good dad, though. And I'm just like, ma'am, are you an enabler? Talking about his sister? Because that sounds very, I was like, bullshit. Like, I was like, no. There's no way in hell you could say with a straight face that your brother is a good dad when he hasn't seen those kids and God knows when, and all of a sudden he's wanting them to come to a wedding and like 5 days before the wedding, you just are like, oh yeah, come to the wedding. Like, no, you didn't care. You did not care. You just were like, bye, like, new life, no kids. Like, I'm Sean with no kids. Like, no, I'm Sean who's 36 with no kids. Like, no, like, you're a whole liar. So, yeah, they kind of just talk about that while they're at the salon. And then back with Sean, we do find out, yeah, Kelly was one of the ones that was calling him, which, again, he's like, why do you keep calling me? Why do you keep calling me? And she's like, because I have your 6 kids. Like, hello? Like, news to Sean. Like, it's just like, it's not clicking. Something's not clicking at all times with him. And so she calls him, and she calls him on the shit for, basically only one of the kids that he hasn't seen in a whole year present for appearances. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Like, I'm pretty sure he, this is like for whatever reason to not let everybody know that he is an I ain't shit dad or whatever. It's just for this or whatever. He's not a good father. He jumps in and out of their lives. He's a broke ass deadbeat who, when those kids become successful, will be at their homes begging like Oliver Twist, and he will. I can see it already. And I wouldn't out that door. I probably wouldn't open the door, but if I did, it would get slammed so hard in his face. You want me to what? Like, no, I had a Kelly. Like, you guys seen those on TikTok, so it's like, I didn't have a mom or a this or that. I had a Kelly. Like, I had a Kelly who stepped in and raised us 6 kids totally on her own when my dad decided to check out and Yeah, I can see it now. Good dad. Somebody run the camera footage back for his sister. She has to be front with the camera because ain't no way. She said it. I heard it when they was sitting there with their crowns on, getting their little toesy woesies painted. They both said like in unison, like, "Oh, but he's a good dad." Like, what? So, cause my shit. Yeah. So then and this is another thing. It's just it's lies on top of lot. Like, and that's what happens when you lie to one person, and you bring other people in the mix, and you gotta lie to them. They always say, right? You tell one lie, you gotta like tell like 20 more on top of that. Like, Sean is the walking billboard for that phrase, because even though Sarah made it abundantly clear to him in the beginning, like, no, I don't want her there, he still knew that his kids would only be able to come if Kelly was able to come as well. And am I a Sarah fan at this point? No. But did she say what she said? And you're the one that's supposed to respect it because you're the one who's her fiance that she's about to marry soon? Yes. So that's what you should have did, but you didn't do that. Instead, you invited Kelly behind Sarah's back, and then you tell her about the baby. And of course, Kelly's like, "Are you serious?" Like, and she's like, "Yeah, well, she's gonna find out. I feel bad for her in the future when she finds out how you are with newborns." So it's just like, that was proof right there that from diapers, you just don't be doing shit for your kids. Like, but to a degree, do I have to kind of be like, okay, Kelly, like, but why did you keep having kids with it? Whatever. Anyway, that's between y'all. And then she's like, "Well, I ain't paying for them to come. So you might want to run me some money, right? Like, I'm not paying for them to come." And I was like, good on you. I wouldn't pay for anything. So she's like, so send me $500 right now. And I was like, that part was actually kind of funny to me. That was kind of funny. And he does it. And I'm just like, see, he's making the most hugest, like, massively large bed ever to lay in. Like, this bed of bullshit that he's making for himself to lay in is so big. Like, good Lord. And then I think, after that whole thing with him being a good dad and all that, Sarah, she kind of just tells the sister about, her insecurities about both Kelly and Destiny. And again, I'm just kind of like, you need to just be worried about Destiny, because we kind of see in the clips for next week how Destiny, she's ready to come and wreak havoc. And honestly, I'm not exactly mad at it. Although, do you guys think that the baby is, like, if Destiny is pregnant and everything, like, do you think that Sean is the dad? And I was just like, the math ain't mathing completely with that to me, because I'm like, okay, if you were locked up for this amount of time and then you have this other guy that you married, stuff like that, Something tells me, unless, yeah, he was like sneaking off down there or whatever to come see her after he said, he was done with her. I don't think, I don't see how it could be Sean's, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Facts. Kelly said she wanted to get flued out on his dime, and did, because I seen that $500 go through. Sent. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens at this. We'll see what happens at this wedding. He ain't the pappy. Yeah, I will say that. I don't exactly think that he is the father. Um. Oh gosh, was that everybody? Oh man. Yeah, I did Chance and Taylor, Brittany and Marcelina, Amber and Puppy, Chaz and Brandwin, Lindsay and Deontay, Sean and Sarah, Kevin and Tiffany. Oh man, that was it. Oh, I was having so much fun. Yeah, I mean, that was it. That was it for this episode. Overall, like I said, I think it's just, we're just, slowly getting geared up. We're slowly, seeing what's going on with everybody, kind of seeing where, what everyone's storyline is going to be for this season and whatnot. But, it did what it was supposed to do, at least for me, I guess I could say. Like I've said before as well, there is a couple storylines on here that I could have did without, or that I see kind of going to be stretched out beyond what they kind of need to be, because yeah, like, the Chaz and Brand wins, the freaking what's her name? Yeah. Brittany and Marcelino stories fabricated, and that's irrelevant. Like, there's certain storylines on here that just kind of like, okay, I see where this is going already. But overall, I wasn't mad at this episode. I wasn't, irritated by it or anything like that. I still go up for this show. And I want to say in the fall, Love During Lockup is coming back on with the whole new cast, which I'm excited about. Yeah, I'm definitely excited about. And as you can see in this clip up here, that Brittany and Ray are supposed to be coming back, and I'm interested to see them, of course. But at the same time, I know she's gonna probably piss me off, because when they first came on their one season, like, she also was another one that was pissing me off the entire time. But I'm here for it. I'll give it a try. I'll always give it a try. But yeah, this is pretty much all I have for this episode. I really enjoyed you guys stopping by and supporting, and not watching, but watching me, listening to me run my mouth. I don't think Sean's a daddy due to their timeline. The equations aren't adding up with that situation. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, it just smells, I'm just looking for, a storyline. That's all it really did for me. But please, y'all, don't forget to like, the video. Of course, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. And I'll probably come back. I think I'm gonna come right back with Bell Collective, perhaps. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end this and then come back on for Bell Collective. If anybody wants to join me for that, of course, I'll drop the link. But I appreciate you guys. And yeah, some more. What comes on? Real Housewives comes on tonight, so I'll have that up here. I need to go back and rewatch P Valley so I can make some notes. Bye, Joseph. Thank you so much for stopping by and chatting with us. I really enjoyed your comments, and I look forward to doing it again next week. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end this and then try to come right back for Bell Collective. And I don't plan on being on camera for that either, because it's just you guys don't want to see me on camera right now. Trust me. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for coming through, of course. It never goes unnoticed, but I will see you guys later. Bye.